Right, this is, I'll show it another angle at some point. This is a Cocoon i3 Mini. I think this is actually, oh sorry, Cocoon. I've forgotten what the American brand of this is. This is actually an Aldi 3D printer. I've been retrofitting a silicon heated bed to the underside of the print surface. The American version, you can actually buy a retrofit kit for these. They typically use a 110 volt AC heating element, which, yeah, I'm not sure if you can get a 240 volt, but I don't feel comfortable fitting a AC thing to a metal frame printer, even though it would be earthed. But so here I've got the DC feed. It comes in through here. There's been a hole, so we can see if we can focus on that. The light's coming through. That brings the wires in. The wires come round over the top and into a MOSFET. The factory board wouldn't handle the current of a heated bed. Again, the silicon heater provided in the American kit would be running a solid state relay. In this case, I'm running a MOSFET that comes in, so it ultimately feeds back to the heated bed, the bed addition here. I can't remember which wire is which in this. I think it's the yellow and white wire here are the temperature sensor or the thermistor, and the red and black come back to the MOSFET. Now the MOSFET, because this power supply is wimpy, it's only 1 amp at 24 volts or something. It's only rated 2.2 amp input, but output wouldn't drive the bed. So I've put another connector, so the power runs, hang on, maybe I should focus back. Run a power feed down here to an external connector that will be coming through to a power, just a normal, these are like they use on solder irons, etc. It's just one of these DIN connectors, which is coming in the back of the print near the power supply. There'll be a reason for that later. I'll actually come back to this video and show how I'm retrofitting the power supply. It's because this is 12 volt, this is traditionally 24. If it was 24 volt both, in hindsight, I probably should have ordered 24 volt, but I didn't realise. I ordered the parts before I opened the printer. I probably would have just retrofitted a 24 volt auxiliary input and just run the whole lot off an external power supply. But it's going to be dual power, so it's still going to come through from the AC feed for this power supply. And there'll be a separate power switch that'll control the external power supply, which I'm going to mount on the back. But yeah, we'll stop at this point and I'll come back to that once it's done. Right, for people's reference, this is actually an Aldi printer. It's a Cocoon Create model maker 3D printer. It's basically a Wanhao i3 Mini clone, or it could have been manufactured by them, but here in Australia it's sold as Cocoon. So with the auxiliary 12 volt power supply for the bed, I've just brought the connector through, obviously through to here. What I plan on doing is I've got this 12 volt power supply. I'm planning on taking this back cover off, drilling screw holes through it, and then mounting it so it sits flush on the back of the frame, so it's out of the way, self-contained. At some point I'll have to maybe make a cover, 3D print a cover for the terminals and that on the end. I'll even look, there may already be one available, STL available to do that now. Yeah, anyway, that's how I plan on actually tying this together, so that it's not sitting around as a separate power brick you have to worry about, being plugged in, not falling over, getting disconnected. But yeah, that's the plan anyway. For anyone who hasn't seen one of these with the cover off, it's actually the first time I've had mine off. yeah, there is a bit of space between the two halves for adding cables through. I'm only noting that because I'm planning on adding a inductive sensor to detect the height so that it can do auto adjustment without having to sit there piss farting around with the bloody yeah, the piece of cardboard or the paper you put to level it. I want to auto level this printer at some point. Anyway, here's the cover. I just ignore the 2 extra holes. Yeah, I managed to put the holes a centimetre shorter than they're supposed to be. The power supply is now mounted on the back cover. That will shortly be screwed and mount on the back here. I'll display that. I've left the plastic on the outside of the this side to stop any crap getting in there while it's being built, but yeah, I'll provide an update later when I've screwed all this back together.